Once upon a time in Nigeria, we had a president who won election and declared that the election was flawed. That is integrity. What we have today is a president who has won election twice, who is in his second and final term, yet has not deemed it fit to do something about the electoral process in this country. The election of today means that people are being killed. In the 2019 election period, 629 people were reported to have been killed. 629. It is not a civil war, but yet 629 people died during the 2019 general election period. We have seen the Kogi and Bayelsa election. We have seen people being killed. Citizens just like us, just like you and I, who live their life in this country, who live their lives hoping for a better Nigeria, probably never ever saying anything, wishing that they can just stay on, and yet they were killed. What was their offense? For some of them, they just went to vote, and that was it. For another, I saw the gruesome, video of a daughter that was crying in Kogi State, whose mother was killed just because she was what? A woman leader. She was said to have been kept in her house, locked up in her own house, and burnt down, burnt alive in her own house just because she's in politics, just because she's a woman leader. It's not going to change. It's going to get worse. And you have to brave yourself. And if you think of the fact that you have never said anything, or the fact that you stay in your house and refuse to come out when they say you should come out and stand for your right, that it's going to make you safe. Sorry. I say it every time and I'm going to repeat it again. Yesterday's victims were once survivors. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors. And tomorrow's victims will be today's survivors. The question is, who is next? Are you going to be the one that will be taken away by the flawed system in this country? You have a president who absolutely has no integrity, who sits down and watches his citizens being killed like animals. A president who congratulates a man who is known to have failed as a governor, who is owing his salaries, the salaries of his workers so much, whom everybody knows is a failure. He himself knows is a failure. That same man won elections, supposedly won election, under which people were killed. Talks went around. We saw videos of security operatives supervising the taking away of ballot papers, and yet the president came out to congratulate. His focus was more on congratulations than the citizens who have died. That is not integrity. That is not integrity. My fellow Nigerians, brave yourself for more violence. Brave yourself for the kind of violence you have never seen before if there's no electoral reform. As long as we sit down, we say we are afraid, we refuse to come out, we refuse to demand, we refuse to ask for our right, we refuse to come out and say the right thing should be done. Everybody is staying at home. You say you are afraid, you don't want to come out, you don't want to be killed in a protest. There will be more violence, there will be more mayhem. When the president did not assent to the electoral bill in 2018, I think that was just before the election, late 2018 or early 2019, but I'm pretty sure it's more of late 2018. I did a video and I said what it meant by the president not signing that electoral bill was that violence was going to come back into our politics. Ballot snatching was going to come back. Killing and maiming and shooting was going to come back. And today we have seen it. Are you going to wait until you become the next victim to cry out, or not even cry out, or to do long threats on social media? Are you going to wait and do nothing and be killed like animals in your own houses, on the streets as you're going? Bad governance kills more than anything. If we do not have a reformed electoral system, if we do not reform our electoral system, if we do not have a system where we discourage people that we kill and maim, where it is not profitable for them to snatch ballot boxes, we will all become like waiting victims for that stray bullet to meet us even in our houses. For how long are we going to stay like this? For how long are we going to watch people come in and destroy our country? The so-called rulers we have today are not leaders. They do not care about us. And if you sit in your house every day, you say you're praying to God to fix this problem. Let me tell you something, no problem is going to be fixed, because God will not do for us what he has given us the capacity to do for ourselves. Every 4 years, God gives us opportunity to choose the right people. We either don't choose the right people or we stay at home while others choose the wrong people for us. And then you come and pray to God. Please, you can't mock God. I'm so emotional right now. I'm so angry right now. I'm not angry at the government. I'm angry at you. Because you are the one who have given them the right to treat us the way they do. You are the one who stay at home, do nothing. You are the one who refuse to call the government out. You're the one who refuse to hold the government accountable. You're the one who refuse to come on the streets when they say, come out, let's protest, you stay at home. You're the one who call out other people, who insult, who abuse other people, who come out. You're the one who think that silence will get you through Nigeria. Let me tell you something. More people have died from bad governance than have died at a protest. More people have died from the cluelessness, ineptitude, incompetence, failure of this government than have died at protest. When you see them come out and attack those who protest, it's because you stay at home. If all of us will be on the streets, if all of us will come out and demand with one voice and say, we want the electoral system to be reformed, then we'll do something. Even that security agent that will pull that tear gas canister, that will shoot, when they see you on the streets, they will know that indeed you are there for him or her. And they will know that indeed you mean business. And this time, business will be done. It is enough. Enough is enough of being cowards. Enough is enough of staying away. We must demand that there's a reform of the electoral system. We must demand that there's a reform of the electoral system. We must demand that the right thing be done. As long as we do not have card reader as law in this country, get set for more of that violence and thuggery, because it will now be for the politicians who is the most criminal, who has the most thugs, who can kill the most, who can maim the most, that will come out for politics, that will win election. The people who have what it takes, the people with character, competence, capacity, will not come out. And they will not come out where they will be killing and maiming. Somebody who will come to serve you will not come to kill you first. Somebody who is there to serve you and build a nation will not wound you first, will not maim you first, will not burn your houses, will not set terror in the land, because they know they are there to serve. It is only those who are there to steal. It is only those who are focused on the perks of power. It is only those who are there for themselves that will kill and maim to serve you. And so you must demand. We all must come out to make demands to ensure that the electoral system is reformed, to ensure that the card reader is in the law to ensure that whatever system that can be put in place to discourage anyone from ballot snatching, anyone from committing violence, anyone from doing an unlawful act during election is put in place. And you are needed. What will you tell your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren if you see them? What would you say to them? Do you want to leave this thing for them so that they will come on and keep on with the fight? Are you going to stand for your children, for your unborn generation? Are you going to stand for Nigeria? Are you going to come out and make it and make your voice be known, your voice be added? You have stayed away so long. The deaths are still coming to you. They're not going to go away. There's no incentive for anybody to do the right thing in Nigeria today. All you need to win election right now is the capacity to kill, the capacity to maim, the capacity to wound, the capacity to injure, the capacity to destroy. And those are not qualities of leadership. Each and every one of us must come out and hold the President Muhammad Buhari accountable. Each and every one must come out and hold the President accountable. We must be on that streets. We must be on those streets. We must make demands. We must raise our voices wherever we are. We must say that the electoral system must be reformed. We cannot continue with this violence. Did you see what came out of Kogi State? Did you see what came out from people going to vote? Are you waiting for that to be your story? Are you waiting for that to be you or your family member or a friend? Are you waiting to be killed like animals? Is that what it will take? That shouldn't be, because dead people cannot make demands, and dead people don't just occur at protest, even in their houses. When you travel on a road and you have an accident and you die, that's bad governance. When the roads are supposed to have been fixed and they were not fixed. How many people have died because there were no proper medical care? How many people have died because when the places they were in, the houses were burning, we didn't have anyone to call to take care of that? How many people have died from bad governance? We all say it's their time. When will it be time for us to demand for a country that is governed by people with competence, character, and capacity? People who love Nigeria, people who will stand for Nigeria, people who will say Nigeria first and not any other thing, not even their own selves. The only way we can get there is by having a system, an electoral system that is clean and clear, an electoral system where mayhem is not allowed, where thuggery is not rewarded. People have been killed severally, and they do not even bother to hide their faces, yet there are no prosecution. Are you going to give your voice? Or are you going to tell your child that while Nigeria was burning, that you hid in your house and you did nothing? Is that what you're telling your unborn generation on their way to Nigeria?